AITA for getting involved in my sister's relationship. I, 28M, have a sister, 24F, and I'm on very good terms with her. She currently lives with my parents, and we all support her financially while she's finishing her bachelor's degree. I visited my parents last week, and we were having dinner together. During dinner, my sister announced that she has been secretly dating a guy and that things got serious, that they're planning to get married.
My parents were happy for her and said, "Congratulations, finally you found someone." I was happy too at first and asked if I could meet him to get to know him better. She agreed. The three of us met at a shopping mall the next day. While my sister was in the bathroom, I decided to talk to her boyfriend alone. I asked him what he did for work, and he told me he doesn't have a job right now. He said he wants to start his own business and make money that way. I honestly told him that starting a successful business isn't easy, and then asked how he and my sister were planning to support themselves, since my sister had told me earlier they intended to move into their own place together. He said that he has a lot of friends who would help them. His response immediately made me feel angry. I then asked him how he planned to pay that money back, and he started giving me what sounded like vague answers. I cut him off and gave him an ultimatum: either get a stable, well-paying job, showing me paychecks thus proving he can actually support himself, and then continue dating my sister, or leave her alone entirely. When my sister came back, he kept silent for the rest of the day. Later that evening, when I got back home, my sister called me in tears. She said that after everything I'd said to her boyfriend, she didn't want to see me anymore. My parents also criticized me, saying to mind my own business and that they would be willing to help the couple financially while he looked for a job or tried to get his business off the ground. I have mixed feelings about it. I truly love my sister and was only trying to protect her from making a huge mistake, but everyone in my family thinks I crossed a line. AITA for calling my friend a bum. I, 21F, and our mutual friend have been supporting our 22F friend for the last 4 years as they struggle on and off with employment. Their first job ever was at age 20 and was with me. They were poor at their job, did less than the minimal, and would complain to me when something on my checklist wasn't done. They only improved when they were about to be fired, bursting into tears, and only stepped up to do the minimal as their improvement. Throughout the 4 years, we've been supporting them financially. They live at home, have no bills besides DoorDash, subscriptions, phone data, and Amazon hauls, but are always broke and unable to pay, always assuming we're paying for them, refusing to pay for us, or hassle us daily for money if we borrowed $20. Without a car, we rely on Mutual's kindness for transport outside of town, but 22F uses and abuses it and asks them for rides in town, constantly and without paying for gas or considering them, and is upset when they say no, using them for a 15-minute walk across town after they got off work. They became unemployed and won't look for or apply to any jobs, won't apply for unemployment or look into schooling. Their solution to all their problems is to move out with Mutual, even though Mutual has made it clear they refuse unless 22F will pull their weight and save money. No longer spending $200 on blind boxes or Hot Topic. 22F just nods and says of course, but doesn't comply. They recently moved in with me for a week after a fight at home. Within this week, they've showered once, done dishes twice, and asked me every night what's the dinner plan when they brought their own food. I've cooked, done laundry, done my own work, etc., while they are usually watching YouTube. No attempt to file resumes, look for housing, help me, pay any of us back, etc. Me and my friend have given up, have talked to them dozens of times. They refuse to grow up and work on themselves. It's impossible to defend them to people around us, and no one understands why we stay with them. I'm so frustrated, I've just started calling them a bum and a NEET openly. IDC. They make fun of me for being poor. I can make fun of them for being lazy and childish, but I do feel a little bad purposely cutting them off and pushing them to grow the fuck up. But I'll be honest with anyone who asks. WIBTA, if I didn't attend my husband's cousin's wedding that is out of state. So for starters, I've only met this cousin twice since he lives in another state. My husband was decently close to him as kids, but obviously grew apart due to distance. They do not regularly communicate as far as I'm aware. Flights for both of us will be $1,000. Hotels can be covered with points. I'd rather use the points when we honeymoon in Asia, and we'd have to get dog sitters. I also don't have a formal dress, so I have to thrift or rent one.
He was against renting in case of spills, so I suggested that I stay home to watch the dogs, save $500 on flights, and he can share a hotel room with his mum to further save costs. I don't want to go because it's expensive and I barely know the guy. I'm more than happy for my husband to attend because it's something he wants to do. My husband says that I just don't get it because I don't have close family. Ouch, I guess. I genuinely have no malice and am just thinking about the costs. AITA for confronting a panhandling woman with a baby. Headed home today and stopped to get a snack. A cute young man hit me and got me out of my feelings about what I saw outside. Outside the Safeway, there sat a younger woman with a stroller. She quietly asked for help getting things she needed. I said hello and ignored the rest of what she had said. Then I felt the pull to at least get an eye on the baby to make sure it looked okay. I looked around the column and saw he was infant-aged, said how cute, as I went inside. When inside, I thought about what to do, if anything. I did not want to get involved. I'm shy and super anxious person. I am also an advocate for children. When I was finished, she was still there. I noticed the not one but 2 tubs of name-brand formula in her bag. I confronted her by saying, "Ma'am, this is not okay for the baby." Asked the age, 4 months. He was in the direct sunlight. I informed her that her baby's skin is paper thin and can burn easily. He needs to be out of the sunlight and crowds, at home. If anything, just out of the public. She was making excuses, pleading her case however you want to see it, not even moving him fully into the shade. Baby started to cry, and she didn't break eye contact with me, nor stop the conversation to attend to him. Believe me, I was waiting for her to, then had to ask her to check him. He was obviously crying. It was heartbreaking. I held my emotions in the best I could. Employees let me know she's there often and there isn't much they can do. Someone asks her to leave, then the police are called. There is plenty of under-the-table work. This person did not seem legitimate at all. I will admit I went inside, bought formula and diapers. Baby still has needs. So, AITA for confronting rather loudly the bad mum. AITA for not helping my friend with his kid's passport. I'm a solicitor in the UK, and a couple of years ago, a Northern Irish friend asked me to verify his identity for an Irish passport application. I got a message 6 months ago asking if I can help with a British passport application, and if so, to give my email address for the online form. I said it should be okay, and gave my email address. I received an email from the passport office asking me to verify the identity of his 2 children, including asking for their dates of birth. I had assumed the passport was for my friend. His kids are around 7 and 5. I last saw the 7-year-old when he was 2, and have never met the 5-year-old. I felt very uncomfortable with what I was being asked to do, and texted my friend to say I couldn't fill out the form and wasn't prepared to lie. He is also a solicitor, so I believe he fully understood the implications of what he was asking me to do. I got a text back saying, "I didn't expect you to lie. I didn't know you hadn't met my kids." This was followed by another text later saying, "We could have done a Teams call, but don't bother helping me." My friend hasn't contacted me since. AITA for saying my husband is tagging along to a meeting. My husband Bert, 31 mem, and I, 30 mem, own a business together, and it's decently successful. We don't make a lot, but it pays the bills. Today's question is quite low stakes, but it has been bothering me a lot. This week we have a meeting coming up with another local business owner, who is also a close friend. As I was talking to them, I mentioned that Bert would also be tagging along to the meeting. I mentioned this to Bert this morning while we were out on a walk, and he told me that he is a bit offended by this phrasing, as he also owns the business. He felt like the phrase tagging along diminishes his role in the meeting, and made it seem like he was not invited or needed there, when he was actually involved from the start. I believe that this is a private conversation, and I should not need to police my language for his comfort in conversations with friends. It's just a simple, informal phrase, and I felt he was being kind of controlling. AITA for stealing $40 from my friend's wallet. My 52F friend, 43 male, has a son, 16 male. He's been in some moderate trouble lately, and actually spent some time in a juvenile facility. As part of his release agreement, he has to do community service. I recently lost my partner, 50 male, and so money is scarce for me. But I offered to let him mow my lawn as part of his CS. The deal is that he gets at least 3 hours credit for mowing and weed eating. and I give him anywhere from $20 to $40, depending on how good a job he does. The first time he came and mowed, but he left a portion of the lawn unfinished. It was in the back and not very big, so I let it go. I gave him $30 for the job and let it go when he didn't come to finish it the next day. Well, 2 weeks later, and the grass is getting pretty high. I asked him if he was going to come and mow, or if I needed to hire someone. He said he would come that day. I had to work, so I sent $20 by Cash App and said I would send more when the job was done. Well, long story short, it's now been 3 weeks. My grass is knee-high and it's been excuse after excuse. It was raining. It was too hot. We had car trouble. Lather, rinse, repeat. I've asked several times for him to give me the money back so I could hire someone else, and he always says, "I'll be there today, tomorrow, this weekend, in an hour." Followed by another excuse. Yesterday, the dad called me and said they had lost the paper from the first job for the CS credit. I said, "Okay, come mow, and I'll give it to you then." Well, when he showed up, he had a BS excuse, of course, but I gave him the paper because he had already sort of done the job for that paper. An hour after he left, he called me, frantic. He said he had lost his wallet and had I found it. It turned out to be in my drive, with several $20 and a debit card next to it. I wrapped all but $2 of the $20 around the card, stuck it in the wallet, and gave it back to him. Note, there was quite a bit of cash inside. I didn't count it, but it was a thick wad of bills. I didn't touch anything inside the wallet. He came and got it, checked the money, said it was all there, and left. I told my friend about it, and told her that I planned to use the money to hire someone to mow. That's the cost of the cheapest service I could find. Or if he showed tomorrow, I would give it back, as a tip. She was horrified. She said that she'd always thought of me as an honest person, and that what I did was stealing, regardless him owing me money. She said it didn't matter that he didn't notice, and that 2 wrongs don't make a right. Now I feel terrible. I thought that I was taking back what I was owed, and I feel really gross. I don't know anymore if I was justified in what I did. I've never stolen from anyone in my life, and I'm so confused.